Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Success Grid podcast with me, Hussein. I have a special guest today whose name is John Lee. He is the founder of CustomMobile.App, the first agency of its kind, custom building beautiful, professional, and affordable mobile apps for podcast. So, John, are you ready for the grid?
Yes.
Awesome, cool. So, let's give our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So I am a software product developer. I live in the US in Pittsburgh, and I have a small agency custom building mobile apps for content creators, podcasters specifically, but really any content business.
Yeah.
We're the first agency of its kind, like you said, that makes it affordable for everyone. And our plans start at just $6 a month. And so thank you for having me on your show and sharing my journey.
Cool. So you said you are built this one custom mobile app basically for podcasters, right?
We're targeting podcasters now. We're a very young company, just started in January, or we rebooted or rebranded ourselves in January. But we're focused on podcasters right now.
Yeah. So you're doing this because you think that niching down is better than building a whole app for everything?
We're niching in our marketing. So we're really focused on targeting a very specific audience because we're just beginning. We want to, we want to be very targeted in our messaging. And podcasters were my target audience before. When I first started my journey building a business, I was focused on the podcasting industry anyway. So that's why we ended up targeting podcasters for this next version of the business and the product.
Yeah, cool. So because I don't see a lot of apps that targeting podcasters, as we said, it's very unique approach. So do you think podcasters themselves, like me and others, need this app for this show? What's this app going to bring to them?
Yeah, so podcasters are small business owners. And part of my challenge is to teach them and show them that they are actually entrepreneurs. And as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner who's creating content, you are a content creator. The goal of your content as a creator is to pull your audience into your home, invite them into your home on the web. It's like hospitality, right?
Yeah.
You're sending out a call and you're saying, everyone come to my home. And my home is my website. So come to my website. I'll give you more content, more interesting content, and more ways to engage with me, your host. But also in my home, I can nurture that relationship and convert you to becoming a financial supporter or a customer, of my business. So that's my model of a content business. You have great content, you're sharing it widely, it's going out everywhere for free.
Yeah.
But the purpose of that is to pull them back to your home and then nurture that relationship so you can ultimately convert them to becoming a customer. A mobile app is the same thing. The mobile app, in my mind, it's the front door to your home. So you can put the front door to your home inside the pockets of your audience. So they don't have to go on their computers and find your website. If they have your app, they just open the front door to your home right there. And they can see more content, they can engage you. And if you have a community also building inside of that mobile app, they can talk to each other, start conversations. And ultimately, the goal is to convert them from a listener into a customer. And that can only be done in your home. So that's the big business value and benefit of having a website. And if you can afford it, which now you can with our service, your own mobile app.
Yeah. Cool. I love the idea of you saying home. It's not just about being on the website itself. It's like being able to connect more with like a human being there, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So
I was saying a good website is not just a billboard, right? A good website is you land, you get more information, but it's easy for me to, get connected to the business or whatever. The website should be engaging and allow me to participate in maybe a community or in some way deeper with that person or that company or that show. And ultimately, every website should have a call to action.
Yeah.
So that could be a buy now button, usually like buy now, but it could be contact me. It could
Yeah.
be sign up to my newsletter. So whatever that call to action is, the website should be designed to lead them to that call to action.
Yeah, exactly. This is, but when within, like you said, connect with them in like a personal way, on a personal level, not like some kind of corporate like a lot of people do still. They run their own company. I run my own website, successgrid.com or .net myself, but some people do that, but they say like they speak in the like there's more people to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too. My business is mostly me. I do have one partner, but it's just two of us, right?
Yeah.
It's not a big team. But yeah, I think a lot of businesses are missing out because they're not seeing the value of community. And it's very, very important. The value of relationships and community, I see everywhere across domains. Just as an example, we signed up for a local rock climbing gym that just opened up in January just to try it out. I've always been interested in it. Me and my son just signed up just to try it. But what I didn't realize was, as I was looking around, people come in small groups and people come in pairs. And when you rock climb, you can't keep climbing because your arms will fail. Like it's just very difficult for your arms. You have to rest. And in the rest times, people are taking turns. And if you're in a larger group, people are having small conversations while they're waiting and watching the next person to climb. It's a very social activity, which I didn't realize before. And I realized because it's a membership, the gym is a membership. I realized once people start making friendships inside that community, it's game over. Like those members are there for a long time. So community makes a membership program very sticky. And then I came up with a principle for podcasters. Your listeners will come for the content, but if you have a community and you're able to help your listeners start conversations with each other and meet each other, then they'll stay for that community. So come for the content, stay for the community. I think is a theme that goes across many different domains.
Yeah, exactly. Building a community is a huge leap nowadays with everything is all around us on the internet. So this app that you have built, is it just app for the podcast itself, or is it just app that allows people to find any podcast?
No, it's an app just for our clients. So if we were to make an app for you, Hussein, it would be an app just for your show, and we could combine all of your content from. I mean, you're producing videos, right? So you can pull your videos in there. You can pull your podcast episodes in there. If you have a blog, you can pull the blog in there. So all the content is in one place for your listener to see everything you're offering. Plus, you could offer exclusive content because most people are not going to download an app. I don't want to download a new app. I've got enough apps on my phone, right?
Yeah.
So you have to give your listeners a good reason to download the app. And a lot of times that's exclusive content. So if you're giving them content that they can only find in the app, then your biggest fans will download that app to get the extra content. But also inside the app, we have social features, so you can let your listeners talk to each other. We have a social wall. They can put posts up, questions, and comments. So you can build a community inside the app as well.
Cool.
And there are a whole list of features we can do. It's fully customizable. So if you're selling products or you have a call to action that you want your listeners to take, you can put almost any call to action in that mobile app. So they can listen, they can engage, and then they can buy.
Awesome. So in general, when someone starts like an app, does it cost a lot of money for the people to use it? Because you mentioned you started at $6 a month for your for your app. Do other competitors, for example, in whatever app they do they charge more than that?
Oh yeah. So if you want to make an app for your podcast today, there's only like 2 or 3 other options out there, and it's the biggest hosting companies that have a service where they can make you a custom app. That goes at least $60 or $70 a month,
Wow, that's
and
expensive.
it's very expensive. It's not affordable for most people, and you have to host with them. So if you're on a different host, it's not going to work. You got to host your podcast with them in order to make an app with
Oh,
them.
so you mean like now I have a host for my podcast. If
Mm-hmm.
I want to start, for example, my app with them, I have
Mm-hmm.
to move all my files or my feed with them so I can have
Exactly.
the app.
That's right.
Oh,
So
that's too much. Yani, I mean, maybe I don't want to move my hosting to another place. I just
yeah.
want the app.
Yeah, if you want to make so there's other companies where you can make an app without having to move hosts, but that can go up to even more expensive, like $100 or $200 a month to have your own custom app. So we're
Wow.
the only one that makes it affordable for the independent podcaster to have their own branded app. Everything else
Mm.
is too expensive, and which is why we think we have something good that we want to share with as many people as we can, but we don't have a marketing budget. There's no
Mm.
advertising budget. So it's me talking to
Mm.
you and hoping the word will get out. That
Yeah,
is the way I'm
exactly.
trying to.
Hopefully, I hope it will boost things up because a lot of people, speaking of podcast, there are a lot of hosts, as you know, and podcasting for holding the episode itself. Their prices range, right? So
Mm,
I see a lot of them charge like $10, $30, $50 a month. On the
mm,
other side, there's places like Anchor.fm, which tells you to host your website completely for free.
mm,
And when you read their website, why free? Because they say basically maybe like 10 years ago it used to
mm,
cost money, the companies, to do that, but
mm,
nowadays it doesn't cost like that. It's like
mm,
basically a fraction.
mm.
So they don't charge people money at all. They have this website. They tell you upload as many as you want, have as many listens as your podcast possibly can reach. So I think, for example, Anchor is awesome. Yeah. This
Anchor
is
is
what, yeah.
good, but I've also heard Anchor might. Do they own your content if you are
No,
uploading onto
no,
their
no,
platform?
no, 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 no. They don't own them. I don't think so. At least, yeah, they are by Spotify. It's like a Spotify company.
That's right. Yes, they were bought out by Spotify. But
Uh,
I mean, again, if you make a website through Anchor, the Anchor branding will be everywhere, right? It's still an
yeah,
Anchor website, so it's
yeah,
not your own website.
yeah,
And I'm sure there are limitations to how much you can customize that, right?
yeah. I think so. Yeah, yeah,
So
but,
if you're a content creator and you're thinking about making a business out of it, I would highly recommend just having your own website.
yeah.
So you own that domain, you own the address, you own the website, and you own the relationship with your customers.
Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you, we spoke a little bit about audience. So how does a mobile app in general, okay, for a podcast or any app in general, can increase the reach and grow the audience itself?
So what I didn't know before I started this was actually a little less than half of Americans still don't know what a podcast is. There's still a
Really?
large group of people who have never listened to a podcast. I don't know, maybe it's more, maybe it's fewer where you are. In America, yeah, like 45% of Americans don't know what a podcast really is, and they don't know how to consume it.
Yeah.
So, but most Americans know what an app is. They
Mm,
use apps on their phone. Most Americans have smartphones now.
mm,
So if you're a podcaster and maybe you're speaking to an older audience, it could be easier for them to download your app to listen to your content than to describe to them, okay, first you gotta, if you're on Apple, open the Apple Podcast app, search for this. No, it may be, there are more steps involved for an older person to maybe consume your content than if you say, hey, we've got an app, find us on the app stores, just download it, and you can get everything you need from there. That's one reason I think a mobile app could grow your audience. But from my perspective, I think the biggest value of an app is for conversion. It's not for the growth of the audience, but it's for converting your existing audience.
Mm,
So you don't need a huge audience to have a sustainable business. If you have an engaged audience, and if you have enough of your audience coming to your website, or they have your app on their phones, then that's a much more valuable, smaller group of potential customers. So if they're buying your products, if they're supporting you on Patreon, um, yeah, then you don't need
mm.
hundreds of thousands of listeners. You just need maybe a couple hundred listeners who are becoming customers, and then you can sustain your operations. Yeah.
Cool. So, uh, are there, do you think, other reasons to have a mobile app in general? I mean, like in general, why would anyone want to have a mobile app? Like you said, Americans, like 54%, you mentioned, maybe don't
Mm.
know even about podcasts.
Like
But
45%.
yeah, but most of the people in the world know about apps because the development of the phone, the smartphones
Mm-hmm.
themselves,
Yep.
because when I don't know, in 2005 the first smartphone went out. I'm not sure about
Mm-hmm.
that. The apps went on, and the keyboard went out of the
Mm-hmm.
way when that Steve Jobs gave that speech, like we are going to give you the whole screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you saw that. So yeah, when smartphones changed, apps became something that a must
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of for how to
Mm-hmm.
communicate in general even.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a cool thing.
So I
Do
think
you,
I think
yeah.
so. One of the benefits that I've heard from my clients is having an app also has boosted their brand. So
Mm,
most podcasters don't have an app. They don't know they can have an app. And in
yeah.
the past, it's been way too expensive. Only
Mm,
the biggest shows and the biggest networks have their own app. So
yeah.
Stitcher will have their own app. Wondery will have their own app. The biggest like businesses have their own app.
Mm,
Independent podcasters don't have their own app. So
mm.
as an indie podcaster, you can say, I've got an app. It also kind of legitimizes them as well. It kind of boosts their brand. So that's another benefit that I've heard.
Yeah, and it could keep your audience, that like you said, the fans or super fans
Mm.
engaged and on time with everything that there's, and the episodes are updated. I think immediately, maybe, or like does it take
Immediately.
time? Yeah.
No, it's so one app user in my rough calculation, I think one app user is probably more valuable than 100 anonymous listeners through Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Because
Yeah.
that one app user now is you own that relationship. They can talk
Mm,
to you, you can talk to them.
exactly.
So the value is
Yeah.
incomparable.
Mm. Especially, I actually was or read something like podcast analytics are not that accurate.
Mm,
If you're talking, for example, for YouTube, the analytics there are very, you could say, in depth,
mm,
but the podcast analytics are like kind of basic, except what I
mm,
think Apple is doing lately, but I haven't checked that out yet.
mm.
So yeah, it's very basic analytics in general. So to your website, okay, CustomMobile.App. What exactly your services are? What do you offer?
Yeah, so we have three tiers. We're a subscription model. So our first tier is the hobby tier. So this is for podcasters who are just having it as a hobby and testing it out, learning it. So they can have their own app for $6 a month, and that will pull in all your content in one place. So if you have, again, a podcast and a YouTube channel and a blog or anything else, you can pull that into one place. And we have the real time chat feature at that level. So your listeners can talk to each other and can talk to the host directly from the app. So
Yeah,
that's at
cool.
the
So,
hobby. Go ahead.
you said your listeners can talk to each other.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
are you?
yeah. Everyone who downloads this app, these people can talk to each other and the host.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not just that they can talk to the host.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Cool. Cool. Very cool. Actually. Yeah. Cool.
So if they make an account, then they can have a profile and they can talk to each other.
Cool. They can share ideas themselves too.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm thinking, yeah, also at the $6 tier, there's a social wall. So again, users can post and have a social community inside the app. There's also live stream radio. If you have a live stream, we can pull that in as well. So they can just hit play and it will just start the live stream. That's at the $6 level. The next level is the business tier. So these are more business minded podcasters. And the difference is we have monetization features at the business tier. So if you're selling products or you have a Shopify account, you can integrate that into the app. So your app users can see all your products and they can purchase from inside the app. They can just go through the entire purchase experience.
Mm.
So that's monetization. If you have a large audience, we can also serve ads at that tier. But that really only makes sense if you have thousands and thousands of users. Otherwise, selling your own merchandise is the way most clients go.
Yeah. I am starting to think that I wanna go with t-shirts, like the Success Grid t-shirts. So that would be a really good idea. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So that's the business tier. And the last is the network tier. Network tier is just like it says, it's for networks. So if you are a network and you have multiple shows under your network, we can make a network app for you and put all your shows inside the app so your listeners can explore and cross discover other shows, and all the business tier features are in there too. So you can monetize all the shows within one network app, and that's $30 a month.
Yeah, cool. It's even this big. It's a network. It's a network that can include a lot of podcasts, for example, a lot of things, and it's like $30. It's very cheap compared to other places, I believe. Yeah.
That's our value proposition. We're affordable, and our apps look and perform even better than the apps from the bigger hosting companies.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, when start, like you mentioned, some of them like mentioned to move the host from other places to there, so you can start your app. That's a little bit kind of restriction on things, so it's not good for the one who's hosting a podcast. Maybe they don't want to move their host.
Exactly.
Yeah, they are comfortable. So, what's your project or your vision next for this app in general, or if you have another projects going on?
This is my main project. So my goal is to grow this year, break even, hopefully in another 2 or 3 months, break even, and then continue growing it using the profit from the business, reinvesting it, doing more marketing, paid marketing. Right now, everything is organic. I'm doing everything face to face, but maybe we can experiment with some paid advertising in the future. But keep growing it. And then eventually, maybe in a couple of years, maybe we can sell it. But right now, the goal is just to break even and then continue growing it and nurturing it. Maybe hire a few people to help with the marketing and the customer support, because I'm doing all of that right now myself.
Cool.
Plus a full-time job.
Cool. That's good. So you have like an exit intent later, maybe.
Yes, because I want to build businesses. I want to build many businesses before I die. So this is the first one. And yeah, hopefully it'll lead to the next one, and then I'll keep learning and growing.
Yeah, exactly.
For the rest of my life.
Yeah, so your passion is to build businesses. So we might see other things in the future from you.
I hope so. Yeah.
Cool. That's really cool. Me too. I will definitely keep checking out. So thank you, John, for this one.
Thank you, Hussein.
I'm really glad to have you on this episode of the Success Grid podcast.
Thank you, Hussein.